All right, Cowboys fans, buckle up because things are getting interesting in the NFC, and Dallas is right at the center of the conversation. Honestly, the landscape in the conference is wide open this year. There's no clear juggernaut, no team running away with dominance, and that leaves room for squads like the Cowboys to make a move. Dak Prescott has been performing at an MVP level, throwing with precision, making plays, and keeping the offense clicking. But the question everyone is asking is whether the defense can step up and really give this team the edge it needs to climb the standings. As it stands, Dallas is hanging back a bit. If we froze the season today, they'd be sitting outside the playoff picture. They're around 12th in the NFC, which is not where a team with championship aspirations wants to be at this stage. The reality is there's a gap to close, but it's not insurmountable. With the right moves, especially on the defensive line, the Cowboys could turn some of these close games into big wins. When we dive into the numbers, you can see where the strengths and weaknesses lie. Take the edge rushers, for example. Dante Fowler has managed 14 pressures, which puts him at roughly 13% among the rotation. Sam Williams has 11, sitting at 10.5%, while James Houston is at 8 with 14.8%. Donovan as a rock, at 8 pressures as well, is around 8.3%, and Janavion Clown has 4 at 11.4%. Marzon Nellen's production is a bit lower, with just 3 pressures at 5.5%. The message is clear. The Cowboys need more juice on the edge. Houston has done a solid job as a pass rusher, and Fowler is finally starting to find a rhythm after last week's performance against the Jets. But as a group, they're missing that game-changing presence, the kind of player who demands attention, shifts the focus, and opens lanes for everyone else. Right now, that guy simply isn't there. That brings us to the strategic discussion. Should Dallas make a move to acquire a top-tier pass rusher? Ideally, the goal isn't just to fill a roster spot or rotate another player into the lineup. The team needs a true disruptor, someone who elevates the edge rushing game, someone opponents have to plan around. There are candidates around the league, some established names, others younger players with potential, but every option comes with costs and considerations. Trey Hendrickson is one of the bigger names out there, a proven edge player with a 14.3% pressure rate. He's putting up solid numbers with 13 tackles and 4 sacks. But adding him would come with financial implications, including a prorated salary that the Cowboys would need to absorb. It's doable, but the question is whether the value matches the impact he could bring. Bringing in Hendrickson would instantly upgrade the pass rush, but it's not just about one player. The broader roster considerations, including corners, linebackers, and the safeties, still play a role in how much of a difference he could make on the field. Other options include players like Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb from Miami. Phillips has shown promise and recently had his first sack of the season, and his pressure rate suggests that more impactful plays could come. His contract situation is complicated, though, with guaranteed money and potential trade costs that make him a less straightforward acquisition. Chubb, meanwhile, has a slightly lower pressure rate, but finishes his plays effectively, translating pressures into sacks. The Cowboys would also need to consider contract obligations if they pursued him. Both players are intriguing options, but the key is finding the right balance between talent, fit, and cost. Day 3 picks could be used strategically, and the team has to be careful not to overpay for a player who doesn't completely solve the problem. There are also interesting names in New Orleans. Cam Jordan and Carl Granderson are both worth monitoring. Jordan is affordable and experienced, but his peak may be behind him. Granderson is performing well this season with 4.5 sacks and could provide value, though contractual nuances come into play here as well. You have to consider not just what a player can do on the field, but also how the contract affects cap space and future flexibility. It's a balancing act that requires careful planning and strategic thinking. Looking at New York, players like Kayvon Thibodeaux and Will McDonald present intriguing possibilities. Thibodeaux has been somewhat under the radar, but the Cowboys have previously shown interest in him, and his experience could make him a solid rotational edge presence. McDonald is younger, still under team control, and cheap in terms of salary, offering a potential long-term impact if the Jets are willing to negotiate a trade. Both players could fit a developmental or depth role, but their potential upside makes them worth considering in the broader strategy of shoring up the edge rush. Meanwhile, Max Crosby is a name that generates a lot of excitement among fans. He's elite, combines pass rushing with strong run support, and could be a transformative addition. The challenge is the Raiders' situation. They just invested in him, and the likelihood of a mid-season trade is low. Timing and context matter, and while Crosby might eventually be attainable, it's not realistic for the immediate future. There are other lesser-known players like Tyree Wilson, David Ajabo, Joe Trishurnoa, and Alex Wright, who could be available, but these are more developmental options rather than immediate impact players. Each carries different costs, potential, and risks, and the Cowboys have to weigh whether they're aiming for immediate improvement or building depth and potential for the future. Overall, this edge rushing landscape defines a lot about how Dallas approaches the rest of the season. The NFC is competitive but open. Dak is performing at a high level, and the offense can carry the team, but without an upgraded pass rush, there's only so much the defense can do. It's a careful balance of evaluating current players, targeting trades that make sense, managing financial and draft capital, and understanding the broader context of the league. Every decision at this point has ripple effects, not just on wins and losses, but on how the roster is shaped for the future. The pressure is on, not just for the team, but for the front office to make the right moves and put the Cowboys in a position to compete at the highest level. As we continue breaking down the Cowboys situation, it's clear that the edge rush isn't just a numbers game. It's a mindset and identity issue. The team has talent rotating in, sure, but right now, it's about creating pressure, creating disruption, and making quarterbacks uncomfortable without having to rely solely on schemes or stunts. When you look at players like Dante Fowler and James Houston, they bring flashes of excellence, moments where you see the potential for dominance, but it's inconsistent. Fowler had that big showing against the Jets, and Houston has had productive plays, yet neither has consistently commanded double teams or forced offensive coordinators to game plan around them. That's the missing piece, the kind of player who shifts the entire dynamic of a game because offensive lines have to respect him on every snap. This is why trade discussions come into play. The Dallas front office has to weigh whether to target a high-impact veteran or lean on young talent and hope development clicks. Trey Hendrickson, with his proven track record, could instantly change how opposing quarterbacks operate in the pocket. The numbers don't lie. 14.3% pressure rate for sacks and the ability to collapse a pocket from the edge. But the financial implications are significant. Absorbing a prorated $16 million for the rest of the season is no small commitment, and it's about more than just one season. It affects future flexibility, free agency, and even potential extensions for other key players. The question becomes, is he enough to justify that cost? Does Hendrickson solve the Cowboys' edge problem completely, or is he a temporary Band-Aid while the underlying rotation still needs work? Looking at Miami, the situation with Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips adds another layer of complexity. Phillips has shown high pressure rates and just started converting those pressures into sacks, which signals growth potential. His fifth-year option is fully guaranteed at $13.25 million for next season, meaning any trade would require careful calculation to avoid overcommitting. Chubb, slightly older but still highly effective, brings reliability and a knack for finishing plays, turning pressures into game-changing sacks. The question isn't just talent. It's also about the structure of contracts, cap space, and draft capital. Day 3 picks can make a move feasible, but if the cost creeps up into premium territory, the calculus changes completely. This is a front office puzzle, balancing immediate need with long-term strategy, trying to add impact without crippling flexibility. The Saints' edge duo presents another intriguing but complicated scenario. Cam Jordan, for example, is inexpensive and brings experience, but his prime might be behind him. He's affordable, yes, but his ability to provide a transformative impact may be limited. Carl Granderson, on the other hand, is producing well this season, already racking up 4.5 sacks. The complexity here comes from contractual nuances, guaranteed money, and the Saints' willingness to move pieces mid-season. Both players are valuable, but whether they represent a true solution for Dallas' edge problem is debatable. They could add depth and occasional production, but the Cowboys are looking for a game-changer, someone who forces adjustments on every play. Shifting to New York, the Giants and Jets both have players that could pique Dallas' interest. Kayvon Thibodeaux, a rotational edge for the Giants, brings experience and a solid skill set, though he's not a dominant game-changer. Will McDonald-Ford from the Jets is younger, cheaper, and under team control, which makes him attractive for long-term planning. His development trajectory is promising, and he's shown flashes of disruptive potential. Here, it's a strategic question. Are the Cowboys looking to shore up this season's edge rush immediately, or are they investing in a player who could grow into a dominant role over the next few seasons? Each choice has its own set of risks and rewards. And then there's Max Crosby, arguably one of the most dynamic edge players in the league. He's elite, combining pass rush skill with strong run support, and his presence alone could transform the Cowboys' defensive front. But reality bites. The Raiders just invested heavily in him, and a mid-season trade seems unlikely. Crosby is the kind of player who changes games at every level, but patience may be required if Dallas wants him. Sometimes, the most impactful moves aren't the easiest ones to execute, and timing is everything. Until a situation arises where the Raiders are willing to negotiate, the Cowboys will have to explore other avenues. It's also worth keeping an eye on some under-the-radar options. Players like Tyree Wilson, David Ojabo, Joe Trishurnoa, and Alex Wright might not headline trade rumors, but they could provide depth or rotational value. While these names don't solve the elite edge rusher problem, they represent the kind of incremental improvements that can make a difference over a long season. They're the pieces that, when combined with the existing rotation, can help the Cowboys sustain pressure across all four quarters. Depth is often overlooked, but in a league where injuries and matchups swing games, having reliable rotational players can be just as important as having a superstar. What becomes clear in all of this is that the Cowboys' front office has to operate with both urgency and precision. Dak is performing at a high level, and the offense is capable of carrying the team, but without a disruptive pass rusher, the defense will struggle to consistently change momentum. Every target, every trade, every draft pick has ripple effects, not just on wins and losses, but on the team's long-term flexibility and ability to adapt. The decisions made now could define Dallas' competitiveness for years to come. It's a delicate balance of immediate needs, future planning, and financial strategy, and the edge rush is at the heart of that equation. Dallas is at a crossroads. The NFC is wide open, opportunities are there, and Dak is putting the team in a position to succeed. But football is a game of momentum, of pressure, and of seizing moments. Without an upgraded pass rush, even an elite offense can be put under stress. The edge rush situation isn't just a detail. It's a defining factor for this season, and how the Cowboys handle it will reveal a lot about the team's ambitions, strategy, and willingness to make bold moves. Every snap, every decision, every calculation matters, and fans are watching closely. The stage is set, the questions are out, and the next moves could be decisive in shaping Dallas' path through this season and beyond. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could be one of the most shocking moves of the NFL offseason, whispers have begun to circulate that DK Metcalf, the star wide receiver once hailed as a cornerstone for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has made the stunning decision to leave Pittsburgh behind and join the Dallas Cowboys. The rumor, still unconfirmed by official sources, has already sent shockwaves through the league and ignited a flurry of speculation among fans and analysts alike. According to sources close to the situation, negotiations between Metcalf and the Cowboys have reportedly moved at lightning speed, suggesting that the 6 feet 4 inches, 230-pound wideout is ready to bring his elite speed and physical dominance to a team already buzzing with offensive potential. The Cowboys, known for their big market allure and playoff ambitions, would seem a natural fit for a player of Metcalf's caliber and insiders suggest that his presence could immediately alter the NFC East landscape. Steelers fans, however, are reportedly in a state of disbelief. Metcalf, who has been a reliable and explosive weapon for Pittsburgh, was considered by many to be a linchpin for the team's passing attack. The thought of him donning silver and blue has stirred debates across social media, with some questioning the front office's ability to retain top talent and others speculating on how this move might affect Pittsburgh's strategy in the upcoming draft. The timing of the move adds another layer of intrigue. Sources claim that the Cowboys are aggressively looking to strengthen their receiving core and that adding a player like Metcalf could provide the perfect complement to their existing stars. Meanwhile, whispers of Metcalf's dissatisfaction with Pittsburgh's offensive schemes and long-term direction have only fueled the rumor mill. Could this be the start of a trend where marquee players increasingly seek greener pastures in teams with bigger national profiles? While neither team has released official statements, the NFL community is already buzzing with scenarios, trade implications, and what-ifs. Analysts are dissecting Metcalf's fit in Dallas' offensive playbook, projecting his potential chemistry with the quarterback, and debating whether this move could propel the Cowboys into serious Super Bowl contention. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh strategists are reportedly scrambling behind the scenes, evaluating replacements and potential draft options, as the mere suggestion of Metcalf's departure has sparked a flurry of contingency planning. As the rumor continues to swirl, one thing is certain. If this move becomes reality, it would go down as one of the most talked about NFL storylines of the year, redefining not only team dynamics, but also the broader conversation around player movement, loyalty, and the ever-present allure of high-profile franchises. Fans across the league are holding their breath, waiting for confirmation or denial of a rumor that could shake the NFL to its core. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.